Hi, welcome to another video. In this one, I'm going to take a look at Jon Armstrong, who, if you don't know, was the rally consultant for Dirt Rally 2.0. He's a professional rally driver and was heavily involved in the title. And I've only just come across this video myself, and I'll link to it down in the description. But he's put in some settings for Dirt Rally 2.0 force feedback. Now, he uses a Thrustmaster TS-XW, which at about 6 Newton meters of torque is higher than my T300, which runs around about 4.4 Newton meters of torque. They're very rough figures. So I am going to be converting which ones I think need converting and showing you those as well, so that we can have a look and talk about the comparison between the two. Now, when you first watch his video and you look at his settings, your initial thoughts are, I pretty much guarantee, going to be, oh, why are they all so like, this is going to feel like shite. And it's going to feel different. But I want to talk about and explain why it feels different and what that means. Now, if you give these a go, and you'll be able to get his TS-XW numbers from his video, and I'll be showing you the T300 converted numbers that I've put in place for this. And if you give these a go, the first thing you do when you drive them is probably go, whoa, this is really light. And yes, it is. Now, don't mistake that for how light the steering and the lack of force feedback was when Dirt Rally 2.0 first released, because it was bloody appalling back then. I think I put a video up about it and it wasn't great at all. This is not the same as that. I've done a lot of playing around and a lot of testing on this now, and I can quite categorically say it's not the same as that. Back then, everything felt numb. Every surface felt absolutely numb with almost zero force feedback. What we get with these now is a lot more subtle nuances. So, for example, if you're driving on gravel or dirt and it's loose stuff, you actually get very little resistance from the wheel. That's how it should be. That's not an issue, that's how it should be. I've driven a few rally cars on dry dirt, and yeah, once you get up to speed, there is very, very little resistance to your steering there. It feels like that. It's similar on the tarmac sections of Monte Carlo when you're using the winter tyres, because these are studded tyres. So again, you're not going to feel a great deal of resistance on there. But the second you get to it raining, you are going to notice a lot more resistance on there. So you get better differentiation between the different surfaces and the different conditions, which is how it should be, and it is good in that regard. One of the things you'll find a lot less of is the wheel or the car via the wheel fighting back at you, and this actually makes countersteering a hell of a lot easier and a hell of a lot quicker. It will still self-center, you still get all of that because all of that is still in here. So you're still going to get your self-centering, but you're going to be able to counter-steer a hell of a lot quicker, and it's a lot more accurate as a result of that. One thing you do lose, and this is where things start becoming a bit preferential, if you want, is you lose a lot of what's called the SOP factor, the seat of your pants, which is canned effects you get through an awful lot of force feedback, or actually pretty much every force feedback system, that's trying to communicate to you what the rest of the car would communicate to you in the real thing, hence the seat of the pants part of the conversation there. And you do lose some of that. Now, that can lower the immersion. I'm fortunate I run a tactile unit on my rig, so I've got a bass shaker on there, so I still get a lot of that kind of feeling from the audio, etc., pushing it through the tactile unit. If you don't have something like that, you're going to potentially miss that through the wheel, which could be a bit frustrating from that point of view. So I do want to add that caveat onto these. The actual force feedback for the steering is going to be more accurate, but you are going to lose some elements of what you're used to in force feedback if you use these settings. But the one thing they do, particularly with making the counter steering a lot quicker, is it makes driving the rear-wheel drive cars a hell of a lot easier as a result. So some of the footage I'm going to put up around this is going to show you that. The footage I'm going to use here is predominantly from just that. It's rear-wheel drive cars and the kind of cars that a lot of people find are extremely challenging. Now, the one thing I do finally want to point out in the Jon Armstrong video, which is a bit misleading and you don't actually need to do, is you'll notice at the start of the video, one of the things he does, he goes into the Thrustmaster control panel and sets the rotation to 270 degrees and spends a bit of time talking about that. But I did, however, notice that when you get into his actual in-game settings, that soft lock is on and set to 100. Which basically means that what he's set in the Thrustmaster control panel is, as best as I'm aware, going to be completely meaningless anyway. I would personally strongly recommend sticking with the soft lock and leaving the rotation alone, because what the soft lock does is give you the accurate rotation for each of the cars then. So stuff like the Mini is going to be around about 1080 degrees rotation, but when you get into stuff like the R5 cars, they're going to be around about 540 degrees rotation, as the real things are. If you want to set and lock everything at 270, if you can steer that twitchily, it is arguably going to make you quicker, but it's not necessarily going to be as immersive or accurate. So that is the one area I disagree with him on. So I'm going to make sure that you get to see my settings. I'm going to post my settings up here, and watch his video for his settings as well. And yeah, enjoy the footage. Hope you find it useful. So thanks very much for watching. If you've liked this, please hit the like button. If you want to see more like this, then please do subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to see more stuff like this when it actually gets released. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Long tightens, into 6 right of a crest, 40, 3 left long tightens, into 2 right long tightens, slow keep left of a 70, turn unseen hairpin right, uphill, crest and 2 left long, opens 60, over finish, 80 to stop. Well done.